I'm curious about how poor you had to be self-employed as a single mother. When my mom was asked what she did for a living by her fiancé Ken's father, she replied, "I'm self-employed." At that, the Smith family burst into laughter, unable to control themselves. Andy, Ken's younger brother, looked at me with utter contempt. "That's not how I want to live. I can imagine a life like that, especially for those of us in the medical profession," he said. Ken's mother frowned disapprovingly. I didn't care what they thought of me. They couldn't mock my mother, who raised me alone. I couldn't forgive them and didn't want to become part of their family. Just as I was about to speak up, my usually calm mother stood up and said in a cold tone, "I see. I will withdraw his recommendation for medical school. I'm Jane Brown. This year marks my 26th birthday. I am currently working as a Japanese teacher at a public high school after graduating from the Faculty of Education, and I am living a fulfilling life. After work today, I have plans to have dinner with my boyfriend, Ken Smith." "Hello, Jane. You must be tired today," Ken greeted me. "No, you must be tired as well," I replied. "Ken, my age, graduated from medical school and is now a resident physician. We met in a university club 5 years ago and have been dating ever since. Ken is a sweetheart, too good for me. He is kind and faithful, and we have supported each other through the challenges of national exams and job interviews." As our meal was coming to an end and I was admiring how nice the restaurant was, Ken said solemnly, "My training period is coming to an end. Will you marry me if I become a full-fledged doctor?" Ken proposed to me and gave me a ring. "Ken, I'm overjoyed. I'm confident that you and I will make a happy family and be an excellent couple," I responded, overwhelmed with happiness. I tried hard not to cry and accepted the proposal with joy, hoping it would put my mother at ease. I was thinking something along those lines in my mind. Michelle, my mother, had raised me by herself after my father died when I was young. She has always been warm and kind, the ideal mother for me. When Ken and I went to tell her about our engagement, she gave her heartfelt blessing. "Well, congratulations, Jane. I'm overjoyed that you are marrying such a lovely man." "Mom, thank you for raising me. I will return the favor from now on," I said, overwhelmed with gratitude. Ken, seeing my mother happy and crying, added, "Please don't be concerned, Mother. I will make her happy." I was delighted by his words and said, "I also need to meet Ken's parents." "Thank you very much," Ken replied. "I went to a boarding school and lived alone during college, so I only see my family every now and then. However, I'm sure they'll be delighted to meet you. Make sure to greet your family as well. You'll be their relative from now on," my mother advised. Ken comes from a family of doctors. His father owns a private clinic, his mother is a housewife, and he has an 8-year-old younger brother. "I hope Ken's family likes me," I thought aloud. "It will be fine," Ken reassured me. "I'll reserve a table at a restaurant for the meeting." "Yes, I'm excited to meet your family," I said, feeling a mix of nerves and anticipation. I was confident that our future would be filled with joy. But then came that day. 3 months later, on the day of our meeting, Ken's family arrived a little late. Ken, my mother, and I waited in the reserved room at the restaurant. "I'm Jane Brown, and this is my mother, Michelle." I introduced ourselves. Ken's father spoke first. "This is my dad, Tom. Our family owns and operates the Smith Clinic. This is Kelly, my mother, and Andy, my younger brother, who's now a junior in high school." Ken's parents were well-dressed, fitting their status as a family of doctors. Andy, the younger brother, dressed casually in his high school uniform, had brown hair and was chewing gum. After the introductions, Ken said, "I'm thinking about marrying Jane." Ken's father stroked his mustache and remarked, well, let's start by asking about Jane and her family. We should get to know each other if we are going to be relatives." Ken's mother looked at me with a judgmental gaze. "Your father isn't here today, is he?" she asked. I replied, "No, I don't have a father. I was raised by my mom." "Wow, seriously? There really is such a thing as a single mother family," Andy said, his tone dripping with disdain, a wrinkle forming at the base of his brow as he sat cross-legged, exuding arrogance. I was upset and retorted, "What do you mean by that? My mother raised me all by herself, and I am grateful to her." Ken intervened. "Yes, Andy, you should be careful." Andy turned away with an exaggeratedly unhappy look on his face. Then Kelly asked, "Well, Jane, are you a high school teacher, as I heard?" Yes, I teach Japanese at a public high school, I answered. Hearing this, the Smith family members started to murmur amongst themselves. A teacher, huh? We don't have a teacher in our family, and a liberal arts major doesn't suit Ken, Kelly remarked. You mean you're just a civil servant? You should have been a doctor like him. Being a teacher at a public high school sounds poor. I have a recommendation for medical school at a private institution, so I don't care, Andy sneered. I was stunned, and Ken raised his voice. Jane is a wonderful person and works hard with ambition. Don't talk to my fiancé that way. Ken's father then turned his gaze to my mother. I don't approve of marrying a single mother and a teacher. What kind of work does she do? She seems to be trying to wear nice clothes, he said. My mother replied softly, yes, I am self-employed. The members of the Smith family exchanged glances and burst into laughter, unable to contain themselves. Your family must have been very poor to be self-employed as a single mother, Ken's father mocked. Seriously, are you running some kind of run-down store? Ken, are you just going to take care of a poor hag and a plain woman who are after your money? Andy added with complete disdain. I don't want to live at the bottom like that. I can't imagine such a life for us, coming from a family of doctors, Ken's mother remarked, looking down at us. I couldn't believe they were making fun of my mother, who had raised me so well on her own. It was unforgivable. I knew we couldn't be part of a family like this. Just as I was about to speak up, my usually calm mother stood up and said in a cold tone, I understand what you're saying. I will cancel Andy's recommendation for medical school. After a moment of stunned silence, the Smith family burst into laughter again. What kind of authority do you have? How can a self-employed single mom cancel a recommendation for medical school? Have you lost your mind? My mother and I watched in silence with serious faces. Ken looked pained, holding his head in his hands. Tom stopped laughing and turned to Ken. What did you say? Ken replied, as I introduced to you earlier, my mother-in-law's name is Michelle Brown. Does that name sound familiar to you? Ken's father spat, his face losing its smug expression. I don't know the name of a woman who runs a dreary business as a single mother, Ken's father scoffed. Ken's mother looked puzzled. Brown? Andy's high school is called Brown High. What? Andy's face turned sullen, and then increasingly pale as he processed the information. Hey, you're kidding. The chairman. It's the same person who greeted us at the entrance ceremony. Ken's parents shouted together, their smugness evaporating. Ken, sounding defeated, clarified, my mother-in-law is the president and manager of the private high school you attend. Stunned, his father stammered, What? Why didn't you tell us something important like that? Ken sighed. After my father's death, my mother took over one of the best private preparatory schools where the sons and daughters of wealthy families attend. I work as a teacher to gain experience because I plan to take over the school one day. Andy looked completely shocked and paled even further. Had we known that? Wait. You insulted my precious daughter and her mother before we could explain, Ken interrupted. What else do you have to say? My mother replied quietly, You made fun of us, but if you send Andy to Brown High, you know what I'm talking about. Brown High is a prestigious school, and I've never been in need of money. Jane, educated to inherit Brown High, is much better than me. Ken added, Yes, Jane is much better than I am. Ken's father and mother started to get angry again, but they now realized the gravity of their mistake. What? Are you making fun of us just because you own a school? What's the big deal? You can't revoke my son's recommendation. That's unacceptable. In the case of a recommendation for admission to the medical school, a witness from the chairman of the board is required. Andy came up as a candidate suggested by his homeroom teacher, but fortunately, I have not approved it yet. It seems his grades were not good enough for it, my mother said calmly. Andy, who had been in a state of shock, suddenly got down on his knees. I'm begging you. I haven't been studying since I got the recommendation. I won't get into med school without it. Please, Chairman. Ken's mother panicked. That's not good. Andy has to take over the Smith Clinic with Ken. Yes, I even gave a bribe. You can't be serious about canceling the recommendation, Ken's father blurted out. Bribe? Ken and I were simply astonished while my mother frowned. Oh, that wasn't, Tom stammered, clearly dismayed. Kelly and Andy turned pale. My mother responded harshly, There are other students with good grades who want to go to medical school. I was wondering why Andy was recommended. Were you giving money to this homeroom teacher? No, it's a misunderstanding. Kelly protested. We will strictly investigate this matter. Of course, everyone involved will be punished, my mother said firmly. Damn it. Remember this, you old hack? Andy's face turned red with anger. Don't talk rudely to my mother anymore, Ken intervened. She can expel you for bribery. When I said this, Andy glared at me, breathing heavily. Taking advantage of the situation, Ken's father and mother started to speak. Are you really going to cancel Andy's recommendation? If so, I won't allow you to marry him. That's right, Ken's mother chimed in. You're dating our son, the heir to the clinic. I won't allow you to marry into this family either. Hey, brother, tell him not to cancel my recommendation, Andy pleaded. Ken then called out to the three hysterically screaming people, I don't want your permission to marry, and I'm breaking off relations with any of you. Ken's family looked at him with dazed eyes. What? I have always thought that you had a tendency to brag about being a family of doctors. But what did you say to my fiancéed mother-in-law at this important meeting? Do you understand how you behaved? What the hell are you talking about, Ken? You stand on their side. Ken's family members were shocked. Ken continued calmly, I was deeply ashamed when I saw your attitude toward Jane and her mother today. Giving a bribe was an insult to the other students who are studying hard to get into medical school. I despise you as a doctor and as a family. I no longer consider you my family. I will marry Jane and be happy, so please stay out of my life, Ken declared firmly. Ken's father and mother panicked. What the hell are you saying? You want to take over the Smith Clinic? If Andy doesn't get into medical school, there will be no heir, Ken answered without hesitation. That's right, I will not take over my family's clinic. The university just offered me a position as a surgeon. I'd rather work in the medical department than in the internal medicine clinic. I could let Andy take over the Smith Clinic if he can get into medical school first, though, right? What? Hey, think again, Ken's father urged. That's right, Ken. I need you to take over. I'll have nowhere to work. Say you'll take over, Ken's mother pleaded. Ken turned to us, ignoring his family's protests. Jane and Michelle, I am truly sorry for what my family has done. I'm cutting myself off from my family, so please let me marry you. Ken, don't worry about it. I didn't fall in love with you because you're a doctor. I like your personality, and I believe we'll be able to support each other in the future, I reassured him. My mother smiled and said to him, Yes, Ken, you were right. I know you're a kind and honorable young man. It's amazing that you will be a surgeon. I support both of you in pursuing your dreams and happiness. Thank you so much, Ken said gratefully, taking my hand and bowing repeatedly. Ken's family looked on in shock. Jane and Michelle, let's go now. You don't have to stay here any longer, Ken urged. Yes, you're right. Let's go, Mother, I agreed, feeling relieved to leave the tense atmosphere behind. I'll leave you. We will be in touch about the cancellation of the recommendation and the bribe, Ken's father said with finality as the sliding doors of the restaurant closed. 1 year later, Ken and I were married and living happily together. Ken ended up staying in the medical department, and although he is a newcomer, he is busy working every day as a skilled surgeon. I am happy to see Ken doing the work he originally wanted to do and thriving in his career. As for what happened to the Smith family, it was confirmed that the bribe was true. The homeroom teacher who was trying to get Andy recommended for medical school was severely punished. Andy's recommendation was canceled due to his poor conduct and insufficient grades. He attempted to enter medical school as a regular student but failed to pass the entrance exam. Currently, he is studying hard for the medical school entrance exam after graduating from high school. Ken shrugged his shoulders. You should know a little bit about hardship and how other people feel. The Smith Clinic has been losing patients due to Ken's father's arrogant attitude, despite being the director. Additionally, Ken's mother's bossy behavior led to nurses and medical clerks disliking her, causing many to quit the clinic. Rumors about their bribes circulated, leading to ridicule from their relatives and the medical profession. It was finally decided that the clinic would be closing next month. As for me, my mother said, I want you to take over the school within 10 years. So, I am currently studying how to manage a school corporation. My days are busy, but with the support of my loving mother and husband, my life is going smoothly.